Yeah, there we go. Yay! Hi.
How are
How are
you?
you? Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm seeing things on my interface. I'm not sure if I should do what. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are
Okay.
perfect. You are audible. Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
And yeah, okay. It's 1 minute past 5, and I guess we can start. And yeah, good day or good afternoon, rather, to everyone who's joining. So, on my side today, I'm quite formal because I'm still at work. Actually, I just ended a meeting now at 4:30. Yeah, I ended a meeting now at 4:30. So, yeah, I'm still at the office. I hope, I don't get any interruptions, but there's not a lot of people here. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us start so that we don't, waste your time. We know that it's Friday. You just wanna get this done with, but it's a very important topic that we wanna discuss today. A very important one.
Okay.
Quick, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you break the
All right. We can stay here but till 10 o'clock.
Really? Yeah, we can definitely stay. Yeah, because really it's an interesting topic. It's something that I'm really passionate about. So, yeah, purpose and yeah, I'm very passionate about that. But let's just start
Okay.
formally. I will formally introduce you in a minute.
Okay.
So I just wanted to reintroduce myself briefly, especially to those that have recently started following me. My name is Zitle Mnyeni. I am a leadership and career coach, but as part of that, I also talk a lot about purpose and finding purpose. Um, and really, that is what I focus on, and it's part of my goal, really, to make others aware of what their purpose is and make others, pursue their purpose. And I do have videos in my social media where I share about that, pursuing your purpose, etc. And you'll notice in those videos that we normally do not advise people to just, leave their jobs and then just pursue their passion, because you can't just do that. So we focus on advising people to pursue purpose within their current work or, within their current career. That's what we normally focus on, because the truth is, none of us, not none, but a lot of us, especially the Black community, were not raised by parents who nurtured our talents early on. So, and, some of us also did not know or discover our purpose until very late. So it's almost impossible sometimes to just leave everything and say, yeah, no, I just want to push my passion and whatever. So within the current work that we do, that's what we normally follow. Yeah, so I think my guest today, then, we're going to be speaking about that, about purpose. And today's topic, it's when purpose requires you to quit your job, which is quite interesting. And Zuzu will tell us all about that. I just want to introduce her formally. So I've got Zuzu Ntabiseng Mohwale. I keep referring this side because this is where I have my notes. As I said, it's been a busy week. I'm at work even now, and so I just wrote everything down so that I don't forget. So we've got Zuzu Ntabiseng Mohwale. She's a mechanical engineer. She's a diesel mechanic. Yeah, and she runs her own business. So welcome, Zuzu. But I see it seems like you are losing connection. I'm not sure whether it's me or on your side. Maybe the people on the chat can maybe comment. Am I audible, or is it Zuzu? Okay, you are back.
No, no, no. I received a call. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I'm this.
Yeah, no, but you're audible now, so it's fine. We can definitely continue. I was just introducing you. We've got Zuzu, also known as Ntabiseng Mohwale, a mechanical engineer, a diesel mechanic. She also runs her own business, her own workshop, guys. So yeah, Zuzu, welcome. Welcome, and maybe tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, just give me a moment, just a little bit. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So, hi everyone, and thanks to everyone that actually follows me. I see some of them are just joined the um, as sis introduced me, my name is Ntabiseng slash Zuzu. I grew up by that name. Mahwale, well, I think you mentioned everything about my qualification. There's no need for me to iterate that. Yeah, and I'm the mechanical and panel beating workshop owner. So yeah, I think when we unpack, I'm not really good at telling people about myself. I think when we unpacking everything now, they'll get to know more of me and what I in my passion. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you did say that you run a workshop. You are a diesel mechanic, and that is a career that is really, we normally think about males when we think about people who run workshops and diesel mechanics, mechanical engineering. It's a male dominated industry. Tell us more about that. What are some of the challenges that you've had to encounter or come across as a result of working in a male dominated industry? Any advice for the women that have joined? Yeah, maybe tell us about that.
Actually, I've encountered a lot of difficulties in my the employment era, and one of the things, or two, I might mention that actually stood up for me was the lack of representation and lack equal opportunities.
Yeah.
Because when you're a female in a male dominated industry, they usually think of the man, uplifting the man, because this thing that anyway, women will get pregnant and then they will be staying at home, so the company will.
Yeah.
So instead of actually uplifting us as a females in the male dominated industry, they will rather opt for the males. And that stood up for me. And I was like, okay, how do I navigate this around instead of me staying and complaining and lodging complaints, because this has gone on for so many years. It's not going to change just because I decided to go for the industry. And then I started uplifting myself, being knowledgeable and getting the skills as well, and just actually exploring all the avenues in the industry. And I think that also helped me to actually be seen, because I was not complaining, but I was actually getting the work done. And I actually realized that I even got more promotion than those people that were being uplifted by the company, because I focused on getting the work done. I was the person then actually, because when you're going to now focus on just having a degree or a diploma, what could be actually not enough. That it just gives you access to the industry. It does not give you access to it on the table and share something meaningful when it comes to whether it's in production, whether it's in HR, whether it's whatever the department that the person could be in. And one thing that I could say, or advice that I could give to maybe the next female that is in the same position as me, forget about all the, just focus on what's really important, which get. And if you are like me, because I would like to refer myself as lucky because of how I grew in the motor industry. It was I refer myself as a lucky person, because it's a bit like women to actually grow at the pace at which I was growing and the promotions that I got along the way. So,
Sure. Yeah, no, that's good to hear. And I think you spoke about the fact that we sometimes need to ignore the noise and actually just focus on getting things done, getting the work done. That's where you get the recognition and the promotions, and not complaining. Because sometimes we complain a lot. That's a topic for another day. We speak about the gender inequality, and I'm not going to dismiss it. It's real, especially in such a male dominated industry. It is real, but sometimes we just need to put that aside and do what we are really paid to do, and just prove ourselves really to get ahead. I think we're not going to ignore the fact that there is definitely gender inequality in the workplaces, even when it comes to the pay. that your males would receive compared to the females. It's there, we know about it, and it's really a topic for another day. But I like the fact that you just ignored the noise and you just focused on your craft, really stopped complaining, and then you just got to work and you got promoted even within this industry. You thrived really within this industry. And yeah, that's the same advice that you're giving to other women that find themselves in these male dominated industries, because there's always a perception that males are performing, or males perform better than females, because sometimes there's this notion that we are not always around because of, for example, maternity leave and all those things, which is, it's a bit unfair, because yeah, we are females, that's part of life. But anyways, I think the most important things, especially in our careers at work, is just to do the work that you paid for, focus on your craft, really. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really like that.
And that was
Um,
you just hang yourself. If you can be able to do that, you will achieve so many things. Yeah.
yeah. I think at some point, really, we need to stop with the complaining and just really get things done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so now let's talk about, yeah, in addition to that, now you were working in this male dominated industry. There's a company that you were working for, but you were also running your own business on the side. You spoke about it initially, a panel beating shop. Like, yeah, no, that's hectic. Tell us about that. I know that we spoke some weeks back, and you said that that's really what you are passionate about, but it's also linked to what you studied for, mechanical engineering, etc. So there's a link there. But tell us more about that. I mean, yeah, you've got your own business. It's running. We've seen you advertising it on Instagram. Yeah, it's a good one. Tell us more about that. Yeah, and how it started.
Okay, how it started is that after I completed my studies, I knew that the chances of me as a female, not just only but a black female,
Yeah.
it will be hard to get a job. So what I did just straight after I completed my studies, I started my own company. Then it was more mobile then. So I did not even bother myself looking for a job. No, I did not do that. So I started my mobile mechanical repairs where I was just alone with the skill. And I realized that I might actually have the skill, but I do not have the skill to run a business or to grow the business altogether.
Yeah. Yeah.
Experience for that. That's when now I started considering employment because it was
Yes.
kind of hard to actually be able to maintain the clientele, to maintain how to balance my books, to actually be able to profits and to make sure that everything is in line with the business.
Yeah.
So I was,
Yeah.
I had skill, but I had to really sit down with myself and be honest to say, you're not a businesswoman as yet. You just have a. So that's when now I started drafting CVs, asking for employment, and then I later then approached one of the companies, which is my previous employer. I just recently resigned from, and then I asked to volunteer because there was, the chances of me getting employed then with no experience, because
Yeah.
actually count self-employment as experience. You need to
Yeah.
for some,
Yeah.
for it. Yeah. So I went there and then I asked to rather work there for free.
Yeah.
That was just my way into creeping into the industry. And then in
Yeah.
less than I was employed, and then that's how I got employed. And then from there, then things started happening for me. Yeah. I got
No, that's an interesting.
it. Yes, it's quite
So
interesting. I got
say
lost
that
there with
again. I think you're breaking a bit. I'm not sure
I'm
if
breaking.
it's me, but say that again.
Okay, just hold for me. Just hold for me. There are people on my. Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. She just wants to say hi.
Oh, no problem. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, no,
Someone.
you're audible now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
audible now. Oh, I'm
I
sorry
am.
about
It's perfect now. Yeah, no, I was saying it's quite an interesting journey, and mm, there's buffering now again, Zuzu. Can you still hear me? It seems like you're saying something. Oh, okay. Okay, I saw some buffering. No, I was saying it's quite an interesting journey, and you're really proving to us that really sometimes you can't just go out there and say, yeah, no, I want to pursue my purpose, I want to run my business. But if you need the experience, then sometimes you really do need to, draft that CV, apply, and get employed, especially to get the necessary experience for you to be able now to do the thing that you are called to do. So I think you're covering something that is very important there. Are you still with us, Zuzu? I see there's another. Yeah, you buffering there. Um, Maybe the people in the chat, can you just assist me to check if Zuzu is still audible? Oh, okay. I think we've lost her. Let me try and re-add her. Mm, Hopefully, I'm able to do that because, yeah, this Instagram thing, Instagram Live, it's still new. But I've invited Zuzu again. I'm just gonna wait for her to. Yeah, thank you, Tilani. She's no longer on the chat. I think it's connectivity issues. But let's give it a few moments, and then I think she's going to rejoin again. I'm just inviting her. Apologies for that, everyone. So let's just give it a few moments because I don't want to exit the live. I like to start again so it doesn't continue. And I'm actually doing this from my phone. So yeah. Okay. Hmm. On the call, she will join shortly. She's just having network issues and she's just moving now to another location. So if you can just be patient. Okay. Okay, welcome back.
I don't know if this will last us because I tried all the angles, but it's still, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe let's address the comments in the meantime because I see there are some comments. So let's maybe address them before we move on to the other questions.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I saw, let me just scroll through. I saw a comment from Caesar saying, yeah, we're closing the complaints department. So yeah, there we're not complaining, we're just getting things done. And so Elani is saying while we wait, maybe we can talk about the fear. So I think there's definitely a fear that comes with following your passion or, doing something that you are passionate about. And I think she's continuing to say that there's a fear that most people have about following their passion and purpose. How did Zuzu get over that fear? Can you answer that?
Okay, I'll try my level best. I think
Yeah.
most of the fears is just centered around what are we going to do with that without our, because I think the first thing that comes is bills.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's where our fears stems from.
Yeah.
It's just the bills. How now am I going to be able to pay my bond, my car? But
Yeah.
let's just remove the two. If you were to be able to be afforded an opportunity to be able to not worry about those two things, would you still have fears? Chances are no, because our fears just stems from our livelihood, our comfort.
Mm.
Now I'm no longer going to
Yeah.
be able to afford cheese. Now I'm no longer going to be able to go to the movies the way I used to. So
Yeah.
if we can just eliminate those things from
Mm.
the equation and start thinking about what's really important,
Yeah.
I think that's where
Yeah.
the work started happening. And I think for me, what made it easy for me was the support of my husband,
Mm.
because he
Mm.
never even questioned my if I'm going to be able to make it, or he
Yeah.
just supported the idea and the dream.
Yeah.
I think having support as well, it's
Definitely.
so imperative, because it makes
Mm.
us to move in a different direction and with just confidence. I think
Yeah.
support and not
Mm.
thinking about what's going to happen when you're not able to do that. Obviously, you're going to think of that because you don't want to lose that as well.
Mm. Correct.
So I'm just
Correct.
saying that shift your mind from that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think those were
Yes.
the things that, yeah, got rid
Yeah.
of my fear.
Yeah, no, I think you're raising a very important one, especially the support. There's nothing that beats support,
Yeah.
from our loved ones, from our family. So we
Yeah.
sometimes have these, crazy dreams or crazy ideas. And I think it would be demotivating if you have people close to you who don't support your dream. So I think that's where it starts, where you have people close to you support what you're currently doing and not questioning why you're doing it.
The
Because
one
we
you're
do
doing
have
it.
people ask us, yeah, but yo, why are you doing
Are
this?
you
You need
going
to
to
focus
make
on,
it?
you need to just have a job and that's stable. But sometimes when you really have something that you are passionate about, that's something that you need to pursue, because that's really what makes you happy and
Mm,
fulfilled in life. And I think it's something that we're still going to cover, because
we
we
need
are also not
to.
irresponsible people who don't plan and just, no, I'm just
Yeah.
pursuing my purpose. I'm just going to
My
leave my job.
purpose. Yeah.
No, we are not irresponsible, but
Mm,
it's something that's coming. We're still going to cover that. But
yeah.
really, to overcome the fear, I think the support system is really important. But
Mm,
also, I think we just need to get rid of, as Zuzu said, get rid of the comfort zone, because sometimes the comfort zone makes us to just, relax and say, yeah, but I'm able to pay my bills, I'm just
yeah.
comfortable. But then deep down that there's something that you're really passionate about, something that you want to do. So I think, yeah, yeah. I hope that covers you there, Delani. But we are still going to touch on some of the things that are, linked, especially when you when you have to leave your job. It's not that
Yeah.
easy. Yeah, yeah, it's not that easy. So yeah. Um what advice, Zuzu, do you have for someone who's feeling stuck? I think this also links to the question that came from Telani. I mean, we have people who feel stuck in their job, the mundane tasks that they are doing on a day-to-day basis. They're just doing things that they're not passionate about. There's just no joy. And sometimes it's people who know that they have something really that they are passionate about and they want to pursue, even if it's a side hustle. So how do they even begin? Let's say you've got someone who's in a job, they've got something that they are passionate about, and then they want to pursue a side hustle. Do you have any advice for that person?
I think let's start by dismantling the word stuck, because
Mm, mm,
feeling stuck, it's natural in life, and it's a seasonal thing.
yeah,
Sometimes I feel stuck because
definitely.
of my own personal reasons. Things are not going well at home, and then it affects
Yeah.
my day-to-day activities at work, and then
Mm,
naturally that will feel overwhelming, and then it will feel like, I'm just having the worst life ever. I'm no
yeah.
longer enjoying my
Mm,
job and stuff like that, only to find out that you just need to really to sort out some certain issues in your personal life,
mm,
so that your life can become lighter for you
yeah.
to be able to now navigate through your own work. And then
Yeah.
if you establish that, and you still feel the same way. Now we go to, are you now working at the job that you really wanted, or it's just about the bills? Right.
Yeah.
And then if we now we have,
Yeah, which is what we all experiencing really, especially in South Africa. The
yeah,
unemployment rate is high. We just get into jobs for the sake of bills, really.
for the
But yeah,
bills.
you can continue.
And then now, when it comes to passion, not everything that we're passionate about speaks to us making money from it. I could wake up and then I'm passionate about helping people. That's charity
Mm,
work. Doesn't necessarily mean that, you're going to make money from it.
yeah,
What you can do is to find balance between your passion and
yeah.
what you're currently doing, which is your employment, to actually be able to pay your bills. And then if now your passion is about pursuing, maximizing profits, making money, building generational worth, then that's another topic.
Yeah.
Then now we're going to start, dismantling that bit by
Mm,
bit. But in a nutshell, what I could say is that identifying your passion, it's very
mm,
crucial,
yeah.
because not every passion
Mm,
it entails you making money from it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I like what you're saying that the first step really is identifying your passion. So for people who feel stuck in their job and they feel like, you know what, I don't like this job, I'm just doing mundane things. I think the first step, as you mentioned, it's identifying your purpose. I think that is one of the most important things for every person living. There is a reason why we were all born. There's something that God brought us here on earth to do. So that's the very first step. And you correctly said it. It's not everything that's our passion that will make us money. But, when we are doing what we are passionate about, it sometimes, it's fulfilling. It gives you meaning. It
It
gives
gives you
life
meaning.
meaning. So when you find yourself in a situation where you are in this job and you're feeling stuck, it's always advisable to pursue, the things that you are passionate about. Obviously, firstly, discover your purpose and then pursue that. I'll make an example. I do have people that I coach who have asked me about this purpose thing, but how do I discover my purpose? And then we go through that entire process. And I have one example where one of my mentees, her passion really, she likes helping children, poor
Interesting.
communities, etc., etc. And for now those things they're not really making her additional money, but I can tell you that when we have our updates monthly, the way she's just so happy when she gives me the feedback, talking about the things that she's done, you can just see that, what, this thing brings her joy, because
Or it's just like,
giving back to the community, it always gives us joy. It can't always be just about us, but it's always about, it has to be always about how we give back. And those things speak to passion. And sometimes it doesn't have to make you money. You can still pursue it while you are in this job that you feel stuck in. So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm just remembering. But I think I'll also make an example. Even with me, I have a passion for coaching, developing people. Yes, I do some of it as part of my day job, but some of it I do it outside my job. Um, yeah, it's really, I do charge for my coaching, but currently it's not as much as what I'm earning in my job as a chartered accountant. But I really do not look at the money side of things. I'm just looking at the fact that,
exactly.
what, when I help people, this thing gives me fulfillment. So I think you really correctly said that. I think the first step really, when people are just feeling stuck in a job, it's for them to just really discover their purpose, focus on what
Their
they're passionate
purpose.
about.
Yes,
Yeah.
because to be honest, not everything about passion is about making money.
Yeah.
A passion, it could be me waking up every day, planting spinaches in my gardens, and just being fulfilled by that.
Yes, yes.
But sometimes when we in environment where people are following their passion and they're making money from it, it tends to cloud our
Yeah.
own meaning of a
Yeah.
passion. And then we start
Yeah.
following people's passion, and then we get depressed, and then we say, oh, and then we come up with all the excuses. So I think identifying what your passion really is could really help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, you're speaking of a very important one, not looking at what other people are doing
Yeah.
because we are trapped by that. We look at what other people
Yeah.
are doing who are supposedly
Mm-hmm.
following their passions and we think, yeah, no, my story
Mm-hmm.
should be like that as well.
It
I
should
need
be
to
like
make
that.
that much
Yeah.
money. But it's
Mm.
not always the case. But I can
Yeah.
guarantee you, and this is what I've told one of my other mentees, that you know what, it doesn't have to pay now
Mm.
to
Mm.
pursue your purpose. Start doing it, and as
Mm.
you grow in life, as you grow personally, things unfold, and eventually you'll see the things that you are doing, they will definitely start making you money.
Mm.
So it does happen, but I think no one should go into this wanting to make money or just follow someone else now who's making money. So yeah, you're making a very important point there, because
Yeah.
that trap, we like to look at what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there's some employee relation matters that come
Mm-hmm.
into play when people are considering, for example, to, start a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we talk about purpose and whatever, people normally think about that, starting your own business and a side hustle. So, yeah, I know that some environments, for example, they don't really allow people to do other remunerative work on the side. So I think, what advice do you have for people? Because if you are employed in a day job, you don't want to be non-compliant now with the policies in your current organization. For example, if it's prohibited for you to have a side hustle. So do you have any advice for people in that?
I think the first step would be to start disclosing, because I think that it's that, but be careful with that. You must be prepared for scrutiny, because first of
Mhm.
all, for instance, I didn't do that because I knew that my journey was going to be shortened. I was thinking of resigning way before,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I already, it's conflict of interest. Had
Mm.
I actually declared, of which I should have, but I just knew that it wasn't going to.
Yeah.
So people mustn't follow my advice. Don't do what I did. You must
Yeah,
do the
because you're
right things.
already, on your way out anyways. Yeah.
Yes, I was already on my way out, so it wouldn't really matter if
Yeah.
I did. So it start by disclosing.
Mm.
And then from there, if already you've disclosed and there's nothing that your company is not against what you're doing, then now you need to set up boundaries for yourself to know how to manage your time, because having a day-to-day job
Mm.
and having a side hustle, it's very hectic. I've
Yeah.
seen it. I've been working my 9 to 5, and then in the afternoon I would knock off and then go to my workshop, and it
Mm.
wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It was taking so much time from my family. It was even taking so much time from me. So you need to be prepared for those things,
Mm.
because I think we are not oblivious of the things that actually are required in order for us to follow our passion,
Yeah.
right? We just
Yeah. I think I'm not sure whether it's network again. Maybe you can help me, guys, in the comments. But Zuzu seems to have disappeared, so it's probably network again. I'll try and add her. But just to add on what she's saying, I mean, she spoke about disclosure. When we talk about side hustles, colleagues, it's very important that if you are, or I see now we've lost Zuzu again, so I'm just going to be interrupted now and then, just trying to add her on. But I will continue to speak on this because it's a very important one and something that I'm very passionate about myself, because I audit government, even in my own workplace, those requirements are there. Um, yeah, when it comes to a side hustle, let's say you are employed, you've got your 9 to 5, that's what we call it, but you want to pursue a side hustle. I think the most important thing that you need to know is that, yeah, it's going to steal your time. There's a lot required when it comes to starting your side hustle or doing something on the side. As Zuzu said, she had to work her side job and it was affecting even her family life, etc. So those are some of the those are some of the sacrifices really that we make really when we want to start these side hustles. And but she's making an important point here. You just need to check your company policies, colleagues. I cannot stress this enough. You need to check legislation. You need to check your company policies. do they allow you to have a side hustle or private remunerative work? That is something that is extremely important, because you don't want to get yourself, fired or disciplined, because sometimes if you have a side hustle, it does sometimes conflict with the work that you're currently doing for your company. So you just have to read up on that and make sure that you actually do comply. I'm a career coach. I want people to be happy in the workplaces, and we don't want to be people who are non-compliant now in the workplaces. So I think it's very important. It's crucial that you disclose. I see there's a comment saying disclosure is imperative, really, but be prepared for the scrutiny. Yes, definitely. There will definitely be scrutiny, and that is where the boundaries now come in. I made a point about boundaries. So after you've disclosed, definitely you have to make sure that you are not someone who's going to be found wanting in terms of your job. You have to perform according to the requirements of your job. You can't be someone who's an underperformer, because obviously if I've got someone who's got a side hustle and they are underperforming, I'm going to scrutinize them, colleagues. I just have to be honest about that one. I'm also going to scrutinize them. I'm going to blame it on their side hustle and say, yeah, it's because you don't pay attention to your work. So I think we should just make sure that we are never found wanting in this area, and we should just comply with everything, and just do the work that we're supposed to be doing. The boundaries are really important also in this case, because you just need to make sure, for example, that you don't use your company resources. That's a very important one. Don't use your company resources for your personal gain or for your side hustle, and do not use your company's time to do your private work. I mean, that is unethical. So I think ethics comes in here as well when we speak about these things. I'm just still trying to add Zuzu again. Hopefully she's going to join us, but let me go back to the questions. I think there was another one from Elani that says also we tend to excel when we do what we're passionate about, because it usually comes naturally and we enjoy doing it. Yeah, no, definitely. That's something that we've noted. When you're doing something that you're passionate about, it's normally passion or purpose. It's normally linked really with our natural talents. So that's why we excel in those areas. Um, yeah, I'm just trying. Can I just mute my video quickly so that I try again to get Zuzu? Okay, I just called Zuzu. She's going to join again in a bit. And we have really just one last question that we wanted to speak to, a very important one, because I wanted to ask the question, Uguti, at what point is it safe to quit your job to pursue your purpose? Because, you can't just quit your job without having a plan. There has to be a plan, especially when we speak about finances. How are you going to cover your bills, etc.? So at what point do you become comfortable to quit your job to now fulfill something that, let's say, you've been doing on the side, to now just fulfill your purpose, or maybe run your side hustle fully? So that was the question that I was going to ask Zuzu. But maybe let's hear from the comments your thoughts on that. Is it safe? Okay, there she is. She's back. But give us your comments. Is it safe to just, quit your job to pursue purpose? And at what point is it safe to do it after you've saved maybe a certain amount of money? So what are your thoughts? So Zuzu, I'm just asking people to put on the chat their thoughts on the next question that I wanted to ask you. So maybe you
Okay.
can start responding to it. So it's the one that says, at what point is it safe to quit your day job to pursue your purpose? Let's say I'm running your side business now. Yeah, because surely you can't quit without a proper plan, especially financially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what advice do you have for people in that regard?
I think it will go to that point that we raised, that when you're no longer worried
Mm,
about, the bills.
yeah,
I think that that's
yeah.
when it,
Mm,
I feel that's actually about the security, when you're no longer questioning your security and worried about the bills, your car, your bond.
mm,
I think I would give advices based on my own experiences, because I
yeah.
can only meet people where I have met
Mm,
myself. I can't actually go out of that. So for me, it was after I have sat down with my husband, and he, told me, okay, go ahead and do that, and follow your passions and follow your dreams. And, he supported me in every step of the way.
mm,
So
yeah,
just make sure you have a very solid support, because I believe that when you have that, I think that's when you can start making things happen for yourself.
yeah, no, definitely. You're spot on
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
I think, yeah, you're right. When you're no longer worried about your bills, because it's impossible
Yeah.
to just quit your job for purpose when you
No.
still want to do your job. And
No.
again, the support, because sometimes we do need financial support really from our loved one, to
Yeah.
pursue whatever it is we want to pursue. So if
That
you
we want
have
to.
that, that's also something that you need to look into. But then there's other people who might not have the support. What do we say to them? Yeah, you can maybe cover that. Let's say, there are people who don't have the support. So what do we say then? When is it
I think you
safe?
must be willing to take the risk. If it means you going back home where you won't be worried
Mm,
about paying rent, where you won't be worried about,
yes.
taxi fares or whatever, your
Mm,
car. And if for those who do not have that kind of a support that I have, I would
mm,
say that make sure that if you have a car, if there's a car that you are willing to keep, then stay a bit in at that 9 to 5 job up until
yeah.
you complete actually finishing up your car. I think that would
Yes.
start from there, because you're gonna need that to move from point
Yeah.
A, from point B, to actually you can't run a business while getting into Texas.
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult for you to just maneuver around and get things done as soon
Mm,
as possible.
yeah.
So if it means you going back home, do that. If it
Yeah.
means you moving with a family relative that you have a good relationship with, where you won't be depressed
Yeah.
and be worried about not helping out,
Mm,
then do that. I feel
yeah.
like yeah, I think that
Yeah.
is just what I can comment
Going
further on
back
that.
to that support structure, really, people who will
Yeah,
support you without judging you. So, yeah,
judging.
no, that's really, it's important because, running a business, it's very hard. I have
Yeah.
people in my circle who are running businesses, who starting businesses. It's very hard. It's not easy. And sometimes you really need to take risks and, have that faith, really, just
Yeah.
taking that leap and just doing something that you really are feeling strongly about. But obviously, you would have done your research about whatever business you want to start.
Whatever.
We just can't be educated about the things that we want to do. We have to do proper research, etc. So it's very important. It is hard to start something new, but you just have to take the risk sometimes. And I think you raised a very important point about it's normally safe at a point where you're no longer worried about the bills. And I think what I've noticed a lot of people doing, especially people who are in day jobs, is that once they've paid off, for example, those big debts, their bonds and their cars, then they feel comfortable enough to then, start pursuing now these things that they are feeling strongly about. And that's one of the advice that we should give people out there, the people that we mentor. I mean, you really need to be safe financially. We don't want to see you
Financially,
struggle because you said you wanted to pursue your
to pursue
purpose.
it.
And also, another important thing to note is that early on in your career, generally, let's say you're just coming from varsity, you just got your degree or whatever it is, it's you do need experience, a similar situation to Zuzu. You do need experience, so you do need to get a job and actually work to get the experience. However many years you feel you need to work in order to get the experience, so that is advisable. Where you work, you get the necessary experience, because normally the work that we do, it's never in vain. Whether you want to now pursue something that's completely different to your current work, or not, the work that we do, it does help us when we decide to later on pursue something that is now different, or maybe pursue a business. Those skills, they help us when we venture into that. So getting that experience, it is required. You need to work a job to get experience, and to also save money. Your job, getting paid, your job pays you, so that's also a way for you to save money or invest, so that you have funds that you can put in at later on, maybe
into your
when you are more
business.
experienced in your career. So put funds into the business that you want to get onto. So I've noticed generally that it's people who are experienced in their careers, who would safely then, move on to pursue maybe other ventures. But I think it's good advice for people to pursue that experience, work that job, save the money, pay off your bonds, especially your bond, pay off your car. Those are the big debts that stress
Yeah,
us. When we
a
think about,
lot.
I think when you think about quitting, as I had to think about quitting, I'd be like, oh no, but what about my bond?
I'm not
That's
doing
the
that.
first thing I'm gonna think about. So I think it's
Yeah,
advisable that people do that, because we also do not want to be irresponsible people
that's
financially. Yeah, yeah, okay. No, I'm covered, Zuzu, on my side. I think you've addressed my questions. Yeah, thank you so,
okay.
so much. We had
Yeah.
internet interruptions, but I think we've had a very good conversation today. Any other words that you want to share with us before we close this live?
Please support my business. I cannot do this without any of your support.
Mm,
So,
definitely.
for
And
those, I see there's a question there. I'm not sure if we
yeah,
should
that's
attempt to.
Yeah, we should definitely address it. So this
Okay.
person, Liatile, is saying that I also think it'll be advisable to network and build clientele while you're still employed. That is very important. Once you establish that, then it might be safer to leave your employment. Absolutely. Do
And
you have
that's,
any comments on that, Zuzu?
yes, because that's what I did. To be
Mm.
honest, I didn't just wake up and say, "Oh yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this." No, while they were busy giving other people, opportunities, upskilling
Mm.
them to be the best employees, I was actually upskilling myself to be a businesswoman and making sure
Mm.
that whatever client that I bring in, it's my client. And I've built a
Yeah.
solid relationship with them to a point where when I said, you know what, today it's actually my last day, they were like, we're coming with you. So do that. If you need to do that, do that, because that's what I did. I made
Yeah.
sure that everyone that I've brought on board, I live with them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I built that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's definitely important. I think the issue of networking, it's a very important one. I know I'm someone who used to shy away from networking. It's not an easy thing to do, but we really need to be comfortable with
Yeah.
networking, because whether you are in business or in your career, your network
Sell
at a
yourself.
point in your life going to help you, whether it's in business or in your career. Networks definitely are beneficial. So that's a very ooh, okay. Okay. I think I'm okay. Now I'm good. Um, okay, I think we're losing Zuzu again, but I think that's the end of our live. I'm just worried that, oh yeah, she has left. But yeah, let me not waste any more of your time. Thank you so much for joining us. I think this was a very good conversation. And let's continue it. It doesn't have to end here. You can also still comment on the chat. Once the video is saved on Instagram, I'm going to share it on my Instagram. I'll also just add Zuzu and collaborate with her so that it's visible on our profiles. And you can also just give us your comments. You can DM either myself or Zuzu if you still have any questions or comments that you'd like to share with us regarding this topic. And obviously, we will continue this topic. All the things that I talk about, it doesn't end here. We will have other live events where we still speak on the same topics. But thank you all. Goodbye. Okay, let me just try.